Hi everyone. I see just 6 people only. Let's wait 1 more minute. Okay, guys. And I see the class. Beautiful white wall with a clock and no one from the teachers from the test pro in the class.
That's very sad. Hold on, let me.
So what about the graduation day, which will be next Saturday? We will have the same view. You will be my best of the best student in the world today. Yeah, so that's my pleasure. So you made my day. What can I say? Okay, guys, so let me start sharing my screen. Unfortunately, probably will 10 people. Okay, 10 people is better, plus me in okay. Okay, guys, do you see my screen?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
So, guys, please be active. I understand it's almost end of the course. It's Saturday, beautiful fall, but in this class, I still see people who probably didn't get an offer. So for those people who already got a job offer, guys, girls, congratulations. I'm really proud of you. That's the best news when someone from our students finally get a real dream job. That's the amazing thing. So congratulations again. Okay, guys. So for those who didn't get the job offer yet, we will do a quick course recap today, then break as always. And then, guys, I wanna do something tricky with you. So what I will be doing with you, I will let you know after the break. So I want to keep you nervous a little bit, okay? Okay, guys, so that's our agenda for today. You have the same presentation in your lesson presentation channel, so feel free, download. Maybe it will be easier for you or more comfortable. Okay, so guys, let's do what? Like, I don't want to waste your time on the retro. Pretty much know what you think about us a lot. So what you guys can do, you can take this link from the presentation and do it if you want. If you know, it's not mandatory task today, so it's here. If you want, go, okay? So because I want to talk with you a little bit or more about important stuff, so let's skip it for today, okay? If you don't mind, or if you really want to do the retro. If you really want to do, we can go and do it. Guys, yes, no?
No.
Okay, cool. Okay, fine without. Okay, cool, guys. So, yeah, if you find without, no, guys, you cannot skip it for every week because that's the mandatory task in a job. So you're supposed to practice, know how to be patient. Sometimes it's boring and you want to sleep during the meeting, but you can't because you're QA, and you're supposed to stay tuned and know everything because you're QA. Okay, so let's go through software development lifecycle. Guys, so please remember that the main understanding of software development lifecycle will show you that your future employer, that you're definitely the person who they really want to hire. So that's the main idea. So let's remember it again. So software development lifecycle, SDLC. So no one definitely using the full definition. So SDLC, that's the usual definition. So that's the process which we're using to design, develop the software in any company. So SDLC is everywhere. So SDLC aims to produce a high quality software that meet and exceeds customer expectation and reach completion with times and cost estimate. So on our screen, on your picture, let's go quickly again. There is a software development lifecycle circle, and if you will have a question, just ask me. Like, we have not a lot of people today, so you just can unmute yourself and ask. So guys, always development and like first phase of SDLC starting from requirement and analysis. So people got an idea, then making analysis how we will be implementing this idea to be live, and gathering all requirements. What do we need to exactly to implement our idea? So that's the first stage, which we not really involved as a QA. We can only make some suggestion of what kind of software do we need for the testing, maybe some special sources, maybe some special data. So that's how we maybe will be involved on this stage. So design. When designers designing, we also can actively participate. For example, yes, like in a huge company, there is a huge design team, and probably your, I would say, opinion not really interested. But if you're working in a small company, and that's small design team, like 3 people. So I had this experience personally when design team gave me the design mockups, or so it's different type of the software, whereas the designers building the future prototype of your software. So they gave it to me, this mockups a lot. So, and I was really involved with checking those, and we're discussing the functionality and view and usability. So it's actually pretty excited. So yeah, if you will have this opportunity, you will enjoy it. So don't be surprised if one day designer will tell you, hey, I want to show you my mockups. You're supposed to say, yes, I'm excited. Yes, show me, for sure. So yeah, next phase one, once design done, that's next stage. Developers are ready to start coding, and the time they doing coding, what we guys doing? When developers coding the feature, what testers doing this the same time? Testers.
Creating test plan.
Close. What else? Test cases. Yes, Anna already said, guys, we will have the same task at the same time as a developer. So how it will be looks, do you know? Yeah, in a Jira or other tool your company will be using, there will be task, Jira ticket with the types task. So in this task, you will see the full user story with all requirements. So once this ticket is assigned to developer, you can pretty easy, like when developer coding based on this task, you can create your test cases. And once the task is ready, guys, you're supposed to be already prepared and start testing, and do not wasting your time and company time to just start the test cases in this time. So test plan supposed to be created before implementation and coding. So test plan could be updated like when we will start coding, but you guys supposed to be prepared before. So what test plan include? Like main strategy of the testing, how many sources do we need, what kind of requirement do we need, and like etc. So we can update it during the implementation and coding when, for example, some new feature came and we need additional environment to test this one. So yeah, we can update the test plan, but no, it's supposed to be done before. And you guys not really, if you're not a lead manager, you not will be really participating in the test plan creation, but it's really high possibilities that your manager will give you some small piece of the test plan and will tell you, you will be responsible for this one. That's possible. Okay, guys, once feature is done, we're testing. So if testing went through and everything is fine and we see only minor issues, we can go to deployment. If no, features goes back to developer with new bugs, open it, and we have to wait until developers fix everything. Then we're testing again, and features go to deployment. So once it's deployment to production, that's the final version of the software at this moment. We will spoke a little bit later how it's called. So when it's released to the final customers, what we're doing maintenance. So what does this maintenance mean? So definitely there is no perfect software for sure. So always some bugs exist. So during the maintenance, what we're doing the bug cleanups, we implementing some more useful features. So just like testing, tech support in our new feature, new software. So that's called maintenance. In this cycle, guys, you're supposed to tell me if I will wake up you 3 a.m. and I will ask you, tell me the software development life cycle, how it looks like in phases. You're supposed to know it like this. And right now I'm asking you guys, if I will ask you 3 a.m. about the software development life cycle, will you be able to answer all my questions, like in a short, like in 5 minutes? Can you describe this process in 5 minutes? Whew, if it's yes, I'm happy. Okay. Like fluently, without If test didn't pass, how we should notify developers about it? Tell me how. Tell me, that's interview question. Tell me how, and then I will answer you. Don't be scared. I'm not bite. Okay. So there is a couple options. So first option is, for example, there is some fancy software that have a statistics, test cases statistics. Once you created all your test cases, you can attach this requirement JIRA in this tool, testing tool, under your test cases. And once test case will be executed, first it's supposed to be definitely added to the test run. Once it will be executed under this task, will be like it will be called, not for example, like some testing tool link, and under this testing tool link, it will be like a bar, like green, red, with a green, red, and yellow color, and that will show the developers how many tested pass, how many tests fails, and how many tests, for example, blocked. So, and user can click on this link, not user, developer, and if he has an access, he can see actually what test fails. That's the first option. Second option, even if something fails, you're supposed to immediately create a JIRA ticket for this one and assign it to developer. But if I see that something urgent, and I still will create a JIRA, but with the one hand, I will be creating JIRA, and with the second hand, I will be notifying, like, for example, project manager and developer or tech lead that I see something is really bad broken. And you're supposed to, like, and I'm immediately sending the logs both in a Slack, in my JIRA tickets, maybe some screenshots. So without it, you know, guys, when you're working with the developers, I would say a couple years, couple months, 6 months, you already have a culture of your communication. So sometimes I even don't have to say anything. I'm just sending the log screenshot, and or I can say like broken there, check. That's it. And then definitely I follow in the procedure. I'm creating the JIRA, like doing my process in a company, but he already knows, he or she's already into it. So that's kind of how I'm doing. Who knows how it will be in your company? So some companies, they really like strict about the rules. You can go only, for example, assign all tickets to the tech lead, and you don't have like a right to touch a developer because he's so busy thinking about how to change the world. So I don't know, guys. So all my developers, which I work like right now or before, brilliant guys, really smart, with a cool sense of humor, and I had zero problem with developers. And always, guys, be really grateful when they do mistakes in the code. That's why we're still employed. And they still employed because they still need to do code, they need to do mistakes, and they need us to check it. So that's like, you know, that's the round circle. We need each other. So once you will get a job, you will see that's the really fun process. Okay, next one. Okay, guys, this one really important. You have this presentation, actually, SDLC recap in your presentation. I know not everyone participated in this class, but guys, this presentation, one day in QA, you're supposed to do the same. No, answer all my questions like 3 a.m. You're supposed to know this process each and every day. That's why I created presentation for you day by day with whole explanation. What are you doing during the process? So you're supposed to know it. Even if you don't want, you should. Okay, so again, go through all your QA tasks. What you're supposed to do day by day. CASA requirement specification, that's also your part of the job. So you're supposed to know everything. Like if you're not clear with the feature, with the requirements, go and ask now. Never wait until it's developed, or I even do want to think about, for example, you're not really clear with the feature, you test it and you saw that's fine, and that's supposed to look like this, and it's went to the production, and then everyone is find out that's the bug. So yeah, guys, don't be shy to ask any question. That's fine and that's normal. Okay, documentation. So what you're supposed to do with the documentation. What I mean when it's saying documentation, I'm talking about the wiki pages. So what does it mean? You're supposed to definitely know all your wiki pages, what's inside. What else? So you're supposed to actively participate in those documentation creation. For example, I will give you an example. Your company start implementing API testing, and you guys will be using Postman. Postman is really popular. A lot of people using them. So, and for example, you're only one person in the company, in your team, who knows how to use it. That's really possible. So what you're supposed to do? For example, you're supposed to create a wiki page and how to use Postman, how to download Postman, how to install collection. So, and this way you can teach your teammates how to do this, how to create environment, how to set up everything, because you already know how to do it, yeah? So create a wiki page about this one, and everyone will be really happy with this one. You will help your teammates, and you will have an extra star from your manager because you're so active and cool person who knows how to do some cool stuff and know how to help other people, which is really cool. So that's when I'm talking about documentation, what I mean. So touch base with developer and product. Yeah, guys, day to day, ask questions, clarify requirements, clarify tech details. So that's fine. Developers, they realizing that you're not coders. No one will expect from you that you're supposed to know how to code, because that's not part of your job. That's why company has QA and developers. So if you're not really clear with some technical task, that's fine. Don't hesitate to ask. That's normal. Yeah. So again, test cases. Highly recommend you to create a lot of test cases, because that's only one way to make sure you're covering all, not I would say all possible scenarios, but really close to all possible. So the more test cases you have, the more test cases and test scenarios you executing, there is a less possibility to skip something really important during the testing. So your software will be close to perfect one. Yeah, bug reports, the same. Show the progress, open Jira ticket each and every time when you see something not working as expected. Even if it's minor issue, create a Jira always. So remember the rules, always better to open and then close. If it's not a bug report, if it's not a like issue, then make a decision. Okay, that's probably minor. And sometimes it's that minor could be really not minor. So we never know. Yeah, and retest. What does it mean, this retest? Not retest only what you're doing. Like, for example, you work it yesterday on some new features. So sometimes, and you was like really tired, like, you know, not fresh. Sometimes it's better to retest next day, like even like quick check. Sometimes it will be really useful. And what about also retest production? Like what I mean when I'm talking about the retest production. For example, you released something to the production yesterday. So, and next day, if you will have a time, yeah, go and just quickly check the same, how your production looks like, how the features looks like. I'm not talking about like really functional testing on production, because that's supposed to be done the day of release. When, for example, you released some new payment option to the production, you're supposed to do this payment on production the day after release. So yeah, but that's always really good to go like the day after and check what does it mean, like how it does look. So how do we do test report? Test report, that's usually a button in your testing tools which will tell you export report, and you can export. It's not like manual. We're not like creating essay or something else. Usually that's available report exactly. It's actually a lot of reports in all testing tools. You can go and check like not only test reports, there is some statistics, performance. So usually if you're not only one tester in your company, someone from your team will show you how we attach in this one, how we create. And so usually that's not a big deal. So yeah, it's available options. You just have to go and check where it is, and that's it. Okay. So again, documentation. What else? So we already mentioned requirements, test plan, test cases, test data, guys. So test reports not exist in Jira, because Jira, that's not a test tool. If you're talking about Zephyr, yes, it exists. Remember, guys, Zephyr, that's the test case tool. It's just a plugin for the Jira. But Jira, that's the bug tracker. So it's only for tracking the issues. Okay, related to the test data, yeah. As I already mentioned, why we need documentation? To make our life easier. Because even if you have an excellent memory, there is a 100% possibility that you forgot something really important. So you're supposed to create all possible test documentation which can help you. The same with the test data, guys. So test data, it's usually your test accounts to test something special from the testing perspective. Sometimes we need like some customers test data, API collections. It's actually also like we can call a test data, because based on this collection we can create some test accounts. So that's test data helper preparation. So yeah, bug reports and weekly status report. So weekly status report, what does it mean? Do you know, guys? Because I don't know, maybe someone already told you. So weekly status report, that's actually your report, what was done by you during the week. How it usually looks like. That's simply the table with the columns. And in the one table, you will put the name of your project. For example, you were working on mobile application like meal share, and you will put meal share, build, what was implemented during this week, you're supposed to attach a filter with a JIRAs, what's inside of this project and you work it on. QA resource, it was maybe you or some of couple team members as well with you, and a short short explanation about what's inside this build. For example, like cleanup, bug fixes, or new feature implementation. So that's weekly status report. It's not implemented in each and every company, but I'm doing this one because that's the part of my responsibility and I supposed to do. So, and that's not first company where I'm doing this weekly status report. So you might see it. So don't be surprised if someone will tell you, I need a status report. That's what does it mean? So question, can you tell us how the real columns in Jira will look like? It could look like this, like you told me to do, QA ready for UAT, UAT done. It also could be to do, in progress, QA done, or to do QA done. So don't really pay attention to the columns because you will have different settings. That depends on how the person who will be in charge of the board creation in a Jira in your company, like if it's multiple options in a Jira how you can do this board. You can have 2 columns, 3, 5, 6, 10, whatever. So usually in each and every company it looks a little bit different, but idea will be the same. So there is a task which is supposed to be implemented, then developer taking this task and implementing. Once it's done, you taking this task in QA and testing. Once it's tested, it goes back again to developer or project manager with a status that's ready to be deployed. That's called status will call to be deployed. Once it's deployed by developers, it's again go back to you guys as a QA with the status deployed to production, and you have to retest. Retest means verify that's the feature implemented on production. That's how it looks like. Okay, next one. So next one is type of testings. So yeah, guys, this you will have this presentation, so you will memorize this one. What I want you remember. So unit integration, we're not doing usually. So we're doing integration sometimes, but when we're already, like I would say, not really junior manual QA testers. It's a little bit like second level when you're supposed to test integration. So how we test an integration, we're supposed to make sure that our application, for example, integrated with different applications. You know, like for example, Uber integrated with Google Maps, or opposite, Google Maps integrated with an Uber. So testers supposed to test that Uber definitely integrated with the Maps also like sending the data to Google to Uber. So and it works on the both side and between. I mean, exactly in a piece of integration. So it's a little bit, I wouldn't say it complicated, but you just have to have some practice. But once you will have it, it will be easier for you. So guys, we're doing smoke, sanity, we're doing user acceptance. If your product is international, you're supposed to know how to test localization. So what does it mean? It's your product ready and localize it to the different culture, currency, languages. So, and it is what it is. So that's localization. So what we're doing? Non-functional testing. Yes, we're doing usability. Performance, it's usually done by automation team, or it could be done by manual testers using JMeter, but you already in this case not really manual tester. So because to test you need some tools kind of close to automation. So yeah. And what we're doing as well, regression and maintenance. So regression we're doing each and every time before we are going to sign off our release candidate is ready to go live or not ready to go live. So that's when we're doing the regression. And after our feature released to production, we're doing this maintenance. We want to make sure everything is fine and properly released to the production. And that's it. Like sometimes we have to check our production, make sure if, for example, your application using third-party code and you not controlling this third-party code, yeah, it means that's usually ad codes, like when small advertising implemented on your website. So yeah, in this case, you're supposed to check it a lot because this code controlled by third party. So if they release somewhere new piece of code in these ads, it might totally broke your software. So especially when you're working in the media, like some media newspapers, media website, yeah, that's the pain. How do we perform integration testing manually? It's also possible to do with automation tools, but I will give you an example. So maybe it will be easier to use. So I don't know, guys, if you heard there is a Salesforce application, that's the CRM software. What does it CRM mean? That's the customer relationship management tool, which allows a company to automate the process communication with the customers. So this program usually used by customer service to create, for example, marketing campaign, to send emails, to send text messages. So that's the cool tool. So, and this company actually, Salesforce, really, if you will be happy to be hired by this company, that means a lot, or a company who is really closely working with the Salesforce, because that's the one of the best company to work in. So, and I was happy. I was working in one company, and actually this company bought application from the Salesforce. So, and my part of responsibilities was actually to test how the data flowing from the old application to the Salesforce tool. So that was integration testing. How I performed this integration testing. So first, my responsibility was using SQL Select. I had to check how data going inbound and outbound, so from the application. Also manually, for example, I created customer in a Salesforce application. So, and definitely then I have to go and check if this customer automatically populated in an old application, because we're still supposed to support both of them, because old one it's still supported and second one is still in integration phase. So I supposed to make sure, so once people doing something in the software, it's exists this customer, this campaign, or any other interaction exists in both places. So there is a lot of examples how you can perform integration testing, but you're supposed to really realize that you're not supposed to just tell the theory. You're supposed to have a real example. So, and there is like, I gave you example right now. So there is a multiples example in Google. So don't hesitate, go and check. It's a lot. Okay, so next one. Yeah, guys, tell me please, do you realize in how like web architecture works? That's questions. I'm expecting the answer. Do you realize in this one how front end works, how back end works? It this lives somewhere in your head? No? Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's go through this one quickly. So yeah, front end, that's what visible to users. So front end, like when you type in something, any query, clicking any button, in this moment, front end hits back end. So how it hits? Using API calls, it's hitting the database and returning you some data. So that's how it works. So the same, the circle. So front end hits back end doing something like research, in the server, then return to the front end to render your request. And yeah, guys, once you, I don't remember, Tanya or me show you that in the Chrome Developer Tools, there is also like report. If you click this button, so you will see how your application is rendering like piece by piece. So there is like circle, like colorful circle. So that's a really good example how to see what does it rendering means. So what we testing? Just mentioned, we're testing database. So yeah, we're testing all data which stores in the database. First name, last name of the customer, all data like emails, phone numbers, what else? So if you're working with an application and on this application there is a lot of like customers data, you will definitely involve in database testing. So in this case, you're supposed to know some SQL, which mostly will be select. So that's why I'm always highly recommended to people to practice in exactly select and join. So why do we need join? To the same, to make our life easier. Once you understanding how to do the join in database, you will be much faster executing your test cases, because sometimes you need to retrieve data from couple tables, columns, rows. So in this case, using the join, you will be able to retrieve this data with one query instead of do couple selects. So yeah. Web services, what we're doing, that's the API. So how we test an API? Usually that will be tools, something like Postman. Using the Postman and Postman collections, you will be testing the API, like what you're supposed to test. You're supposed to test exactly request and response. So usually it's really easy because it's a response, it's readable for you because that's the kind of like a human language. So API kind not boring at all, so interesting because you will sometimes it's really, you can find really cool bugs using API test. And so yeah, so that's how we test in web servers. Server side testing, so that's the form of experimentation and where the variations are rendered directly from the web server before delivered to the client. So the same kind of API testing. So that's in the backend part. So front end, we testing exactly web applications. So using our technique like functional testing, usability, performance. Yeah, also it's kind of, yeah, performance sounds something like close to the backend, but no. For example, it's really important for front end for web application testing as well, because if someone like, we will have, I would say like 5,000 users in one site at a time, and performance test will fail, it will affect the front part really badly, because and when site it's not performed really well, so some data will be missing. You know, like when you see broken images on the website or spinning circle, it does mean that it's not only maybe connection, sometimes that's exactly performance issue. So site just not able to handle all this performance and load. So that's why it's also important when you test in web application like front. Examples of bugs when telling about the particular tool or type of testing. Okay. Web application testing, guys, everything what you found on the DINs, that all bugs related to the web application testing, because that's the functional testing. So, and related to the front part, like when you found you click I don't remember which button it's already, but when you click in when you sign up and you received the email, and when you click verify your account in the website and it's redirected you to 404 page, that's the functional and related to the web application testing. So everything, yeah, what you tested on DINs, it was like closed and definitely like functional testing. So desktop application testing, yeah. So desktop application testing, we definitely never covered this during this course, but maybe your future position will be related to the in-your application which will be installed on your computer. Guys, can you give me actually an example of desktop application? I'm not talking about like calculator or calendar, any desktop applications that you're using. It's simple. For the market, okay, go. No?
Note.
No, no. Okay. So for example, QuickTime Player, yeah? For Slack, that's the desktop application, Skype. So maybe you will be working, there is also like some messenger application exists, I think. So you can work for any company who is actually using the desktop application, and you're supposed to test this one. So Visual Studio Code, yeah, anything like which possibly install it to desktop, that's the desktop application. So, and for example, that's the really annoying bug on Skype. So sometimes, guys, on a Mac, when Skype updated, for example, I had my previous settings, like view. I'm talking about the view, how I set it up, my view. And after each and every update, Skype changing my settings. Like I have to go and sometimes set up all my preferences. So that's so annoying. That's kind of bug, and that's definitely functional. So mobile application testing. So yeah, and that's when we're testing any software which install it on our mobile device. So, and you already tried. Actually cool bug for you guys, which right now really affects my life. So I'm using Chase Bank, for example. And 3 weeks ago, once Android 10 went live, so Chase application doesn't work at all with Android 10. So I don't know how many reviews already I saw from the customers, like it's thousands, like it's under Google Store, you can go and check. So no one is able to right now even just sign in to the application. I'm not talking about usage. When I'm just logging with my credential, it just like popping up for a second and like gone, like with a crash, and there is a message, application stops work. So I already tried delete, reinstall, update. I already sent the logs to the Chase because it's annoying and affecting my life. Zero response from the Chase. They're not fixing it also. And I'm like so confused what's happened right now. Why, guys, you not respecting Android 10 users at all? And it's not only me. Like, for example, personally me, I'm using Google Pixel phone, but same issue exists on Samsung Galaxy, which is like phone, that's the #1 phone. So yeah, bank apps are quite badly done in general, that's for sure. So who is testing those applications? I only can imagine, because so bad it's, so yeah, that's one, guys, you can have real example if someone will ask you about cool mobile bugs. So cooler than this one I never met before, like application totally like just crashing. So that's an example. Favorite questions, guys, from you. This question I got maybe, I don't know, like 200 times already. so and that's fine. I really, guys, want you to understand this one really, really clearly, like build versus release. So yeah, build, that's the software application, and that's the like set of features or bug fixes in one piece of code. So, and this version of this build will be improved until it becomes stable. So it's like, yeah, application is basically growing, like growing from the first build. Like when we started application, we pushed first build. So, and that's like, for example, 10% of the application. And with each and every build, we fix in software, we add a new feature. So always that version of this new build, of this version of this one piece of code with like some numbers or without, that's the build. So once we make a decision that our build, last one, stable enough, like it could be 2 weeks, 1 days, 1 month, 1 year, when we actually go and release this build somewhere, even to, sometimes it's just to the beta or QA environment. Sometimes that's the production. So, but that's built under this particular circumstances supposed to be final. That's already software and that's release. So build, that's the version. And it's, we can have like build like 10 times per day, 20 times per day, 1 day, 1 per day, 1 per week, depends on our process in the company. But only when it's released already, like for example, it's a lot of developers, and each and every developer has a piece of code. Then they're supposed to put this code in one place and merge. So, and then release it. So that's also released. But they also have sometimes owns build, but all this code supposed to be merged together and released one at a time to environment, beta, QA, and production. So that's already released when like final build. So I hope this one, when you will say so that build, that's the like set of feature and bugs fixes. Yeah, and we testing this until it's become stable. So yeah, that's like our application, when our application is growing, and final build, that's released. Okay, questions about the build and release? Maybe you not really clear how it's in reality. Tell me, don't worry, just don't be shy. Just if you're not realizing this difference, like how it looks like in reality, ask me. Clear, cool guys. Yeah, so sometimes guys, if your future position will be related to the database testing, so what you expected to be asked during this interview. So what we testing, what testers tested. So schema of the database. So don't worry, we're not really testing the schema. It's usually done by data developers. So they supposed to be really focused on schema. With tables, yes, we can test. For example, as I give you an example, we want, for example, to switch the database. So we're supposed to make sure that our database table from one database to different database just flow really, like fly really correctly, like with all data, and nothing is lost like during this moving. So that's, we're just supposed to check what we suppose, how we will check it, guys. It's not, it's logical question. How are we supposed to make sure that database tables is the same in the previous database? So how you will know? Without syntax. Size, correct. Cool. Size, yeah, you will see some, you're supposed to check like number of data supposed to be the same on your database as the same on the previous one. So we test in columns, we test in some key. If it's like foreign key, we can use in some syntax, we can check this one. So stored procedure and triggers. So triggers, guys, the same. This trigger scene, that's the part of integration testing. So and these triggers usually tested not only by QA, it's usually the same by data developers. So they're supposed to first build this trigger to allow this inbound and outbound data, I would say, delivering from one a database to different database. So if they will show you how to test, it's not really hard. So it will take you some time to understand, but once they will show you some syntax and some like cool features, how to test exactly those triggers. So you will be able to do it. It's not really something really complicated. So that's what usually testing in database. But as a testers, as a normal testers, what you will be testing? You will be testing the data, exactly. So you're supposed to make sure one customer is created, so like nothing is lost on the backend. For example, sometimes, again, the same, bank application. Customer fill out the form and applying to the credit card. And sometimes it's a lot when last number in the social security, for example, 0, sometimes it's lost in a database, and application will be declined because our software will not be able to verify that this social security number exists because one digit is cut off. Sometimes some database is not reading this 0. I don't know why, but sometimes it's happened. So that's why and how we will be testing? We will be testing using selects. Same with the digit, same with the DINs. User created a profile and paying with a credit card number, for example, and payment didn't went through, but you went to the database, retrieves using select the data from the DINs, from this customer. So, and you're supposed to go through the row and see what's happened. Maybe some data like CVV code, maybe phone number, maybe expiration date, not fully like saved, or something else. So might be any issue with this data saved in your database. So it's really possible it's saved partially. So multiple issues. So, but you as a tester supposed to check using select the customer's data on the database. That's it. That's what you did using DINs. So using select statement, you retrieving some data from the database. So depends on your testing needs. For example, your test task was verify last name saved correctly in a database. What you're supposed to do in this case, you're supposed to run select statement. And for example, what kind of select statement, Mila, you will run in this case is if you're supposed to check the customer's last name. Yes, select, and then I understand select. What kind of syntax? That's interview questions. You're supposed to retrieve the last name from the database. Select from customers, yeah? Not customers, so, yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool, okay. Cool, guys. I'm happy you're realizing what I'm asking. Cool, so that's example from the DINs. Okay, API recap. So yeah, as you guys already know, that API, that's the application programming interface. So I will be not deeply going this one because you had an amazing class with Tanya. So just want to remind you. So this, you see this picture, yeah? So just like memorize it in your head, and you're supposed to remember where the application API testing works. So you know, yeah, presentation layer, that means the front part. So first part of the DIN side, like your front end. So once you type in search request, for example, you're looking for the strips in the Spain, and you hit in the go button. So network, using the network, you can go and check API calls, how your request went or didn't went through your on the DIN's API data. So how you will see it. For example, you will see your search in the network. You can filter by search and see your search request, and you can see with which type of code it returned request to, like 200 or 400. That's how you can check. So that's already business layer. So API works here. So between database and front end, there is this middle. So, and that's API. So remember this picture. That's the best example where the API works. So that's you're supposed to understand. But again, as a testers, for example, related to the DINs, yeah. What you tested? The same, search. So how the search correctly returning the correct result based on your request. It's easily could be checked with API collections, as you know, guys. So that's example. And for example, bug from the API. For example, you had a collection which allow you to create the customer using API. And for example, if you, in this collection, in a body, when you create an email with a wrong domain, sometimes there is an issue that it will allows you to create account, for example, without in email. So it will be Marina, for example, marina@gmail.com, but not marina@gmail.com. It still will allow you to create an account, which is bad because in this case, when you would like to, you as a software, would like to send anything to the customer, verification email or payment confirmation, that's it. That's the end, because there is email in wallet and customer will never receive this email. That's the example. Okay, automation testing recap. So guys, you remember, yeah? So that your automation project was small and really easy. It's not real automation, it's real automation, but I would say the first step and simple one. So can you tell me please, guys, are you able to answer, if for example, your position will be like junior automation, like you will apply for junior automation, will you be able to answer me right now what was your automation stack? Like now, I mean now. Don't go to the presentation or Google somewhere. No. Okay. So if no, you're supposed to open the presentation, which I gave it to you today. That's in the presentation lesson channel. So there is an amazing slide about our project, like slide by slide, and you're supposed to know this slide, okay, guys? But you're supposed to know the basic, that JavaScript, WebDriver IO, yeah, Selenium, and Cucumber. That you're supposed to remember, okay? So, but please go and memorize this slide somewhere in your head if you will be asking about your automation project, yeah. If someone during the interview will ask you, do you understand what kind of test cases you're supposed to automate? And yes, you're supposed to say, yes, for sure. So what kind of test cases we automate? And so test cases, which could be selected by high risk test cases, like critical test cases, for example, payment confirmation, just overall payment. User supposed to be able to create a payment. User supposed to be able to log into the application, sign up, like main functionality of the feature in a company always supposed to be automated, even just to run the healthy check. Definitely, even main functionality updated. And when it's updated, before it's fully updated and released, we're testing this feature manually. But during the new feature implementation, there is definitely requirement to run automation test cases, even for healthy check of our application right now. Yeah, repeatedly executed test cases. As I mean, like you're supposed to, as a tester, realize which kind of functionality in your application is the most repeatable, and that's what's supposed to be automated. Give me example from the DINs. What's supposed to be automated from the DINs? Which feature? Except login and sign up, because I already told you. What else from your perspective? Create trip. Search, yes. Create trip, yeah. Or earn money, probably, yes. As well. Any regression. Any regression, if application stable, then yes. If application not stable, I wouldn't say that DINS is already so stable enough to run regression without manual check-in. So in this case, no. So some, you know, there is a, also definition like with a, it will come to you with a practice. So once you will practicing more and working, so from developers or based on your personal experience, you already will know which type of, not which type, which piece of application will be touched. So the piece of code, I mean. And by this touchable, you will know if this new feature implementation may affect or may not like whole application and what's supposed to go through regression. So that's coming with a practice. So even if that's the feature and developer will tell you, so no, that this code might affect whole application. In this case, yes, you have to go through whole regression, but if that's like something small, only in one area, like sometimes it's isolated piece of code, and you will know, and developer might help you to understand it in the future how you will know this one, and he will tell you, no, this piece of code might affect only those areas. So in this case, you're supposed to go and just check on the regression only those areas, and that's it. So yeah, what is not suitable for automation? As I just mentioned, new designed feature, because it's really hard to automate because it's just implemented. So you're supposed to first check it manually. But once it's released to production, it could be definitely automated. But sometimes if there is a test cases with test data, which will frequently change it, it's impossible to automate. So those test cases will be always tested only by manual testers. Yeah. Yeah, ad hoc testing we cannot automate, because how we know how user will be interacting, it's kind of not impossible, but you're not supposed to be guessing. You are not a detective. So automate something and user might interact with application based on ad hoc testing using some different interaction, not really makes sense for me. So ad hoc testing, it's probably will always stay like part of the manual testing. So that's kind of what's supposed to be automated and what not supposed to be automated. Questions about the recap, and if no, we will have a break and then we will have a task. Guys, break and task. Okay. 7 minutes, okay, guys? Like 5:40, I want you to be on class, okay?
Блядь, ты чё, конченый? Нахуй ты сюда встал, блядь, придурочный, блядь, ты кусок дерьма, блядь. Долбоёб, блядь.
Dude, mute yourself. You're swearing for the class.
Guys, what did I skip? I went out and I see I need to cut a video. What's happened? Because I was muted and I probably didn't heard what something has happened.
Yeah, there were some swearing, cursing. I think someone just forgot to mute himself. So,
Right. We should. That's fine.
so
Okay.
yeah, so we just cut coffee time, and that would be perfect.
That's fine. Sometimes it happens, guys.
Yep.
That's not a big deal. Okay. Okay, guys. 5:40. We can go, and that's the task. So that's the real task. Not definitely website is from the interview, but task is real. So guys, what you're supposed to do right now. So that's the real task what we give into future testers when we interviewing them. So right now I will post, let me stop the show. So I will post this link in the general channel. You're supposed to go to the website. Once you will open and confirm that you're in, I will set up the timer on my phone. So, and you will have 15 minutes to found as much bugs as you can. I'm not asking you to create the full bug report, but in one sentence, you're supposed to type and explain what you found and why it's issue. So, okay, guys, did you get an idea? That's the real task from interview. So that's why you will be doing it right now. I want to make sure. So, and then once you're done, you will be posting your findings in general channel and we will be checking together. So it's only 15 minutes. So once you in this website, let me know. That's the website. Okay, guys, opened. Okay, so Let me bring up the timer and I will show you. Okay, so timer will be okay, guys. So go, guys. 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes. If you have a question, ask me. You can ask. Yeah, make sure you're not Googling anything. Just what you can test and what you can find, just based on your exploratory right now. Yes, you can use Chrome DevTools, but just remember you have just 15 minutes. That's the time task. So in reality, it will looks like someone will give you a laptop or a tablet with a protected this kind of website with bugs. And will be like timer implemented on this website. When it's 15 minutes, it will like kick you off from this website. So I don't have this option here, but I just had a timer, and once I said stop, you're supposed to stop it. So, but that's the real task. So go and test. It's a lot of bugs, a lot. Beautiful website.
Can you say again what need to do? Repeat.
Repeat the task.
I mean, open the website and then
Go and test and find as much bugs as you can, and not create the bug report in Jira with one sentence. Just post in a general channel or in Zoom chat here, whatever you want, what your findings. You have a 15 minutes only. Once my timer will tell us it's 15 minutes, we're done. We don't have any time. Yes, if you have any questions, you can ask. Guys, if you will have the same findings, that's fine. I just want to see how many bug reports, bugs were found by person. So it's not supposed to be unique. Ina, I like your finding personally. About the password can be longer than 10 characters, might be bug or might be feature. Maybe that's the poor website with a small database and the database not able to handle long password. I would say that's the bug. Alexei already crashed the site. That's the best. Cool, guys. If you're able to crash the website, that's perfect. You have 3 minutes, 50 seconds left, just in case. Okay, guys, done. 12 seconds. Okay, so please stop testing. And right now we will go and review your findings. Okay, so View the Kevin page, server error. Let's check. Cool. Exist. Guys, also count how many bugs you found and just post the number. Okay, 5. Okay. 5 bugs per 15 minutes. That's okay result. I would say good result. Okay. Any page with any particular car page. Yeah, that's existing issue. Copy link. Let me check it. Okay, good one. Okay. Leaderboard. So Artyom told me go here and click on click on each car. Yes, server error. Cool. Okay. Non-valid email and any password is pass. Yelena, amazing finding. Thank you. So there is ID, there is a link with the equal Kevin D. All cars, yes, server error, yeah. Once you click view, you get in server. You see, guys, how buggy website I found for you. Okay. 10 Kevin's button, server error, top manufacturers. Yeah, that's the error. That's the verified. Search spent work. You mean type in search field spent work? Okay. This is not non-secure. Okay, cool. User is able to register with unmatched password. Okay, cool. Homepage, large button from carousel takes user to the page within errors. Okay, but not large button, Mila. You mean view the Kevin? If you mean this one, you cannot say large button. Because in your understanding, the large button is this one. In my understanding, that's different one. So large button, not really good idea. Homepage, my model, I know pop-ups, user. Yeah, okay, that's the issue. User changing the password and trying to log in automatically with previous password, site crashed. Okay, cool. The home. Usually, guys, after you will finish the task, you might be given like 5-10 plus minutes to make your findings like pretty. Maybe even they will give you some Jira, testable Jira to create bug reports, but usually not. Just they will check what you find. You will supposed to be typed somewhere in a notepad or just even write by the hand with a pen, actually. Login with empty fields gives no error message. Cool. View button not clickable. Leadership we tested, it's valid issue. Found, yeah, register and login and press remember me button, change password and log out. Login back, and I understand, Anton, you keep saying like once you did it, like site is crashed. Yeah, okay. If you're able to report, that's good. General carousel after click on button, server error. Okay. You don't see any logo button. Yeah, that's supposed to be something, but you see guys here, there this one, who remembers how this one calls this image here? Who can tell me how we can call this one, this image here? Tell me, testers. This image. No, this small image, no, not icon. No, yes, favicon. Yeah, remember this one, please, okay? Okay, what else? So a lot of server errors. I used mileage and kilometers with the same name, but in different territory. And okay, you mean localization doesn't work correctly. Okay. Yeah, and I will show you one more issue. So that's, guys, what you're supposed to check in reality, really a lot. So let's pretend that's desktop version, yeah? But we're supposed to check how it's responsive. Guys, how you understand responsive? Responsive website, responsive application. So responsive means it's supposed to work and handle layout correctly under any, yeah, can be used by any website. So layout supposed to look correct under any size, width. So you see right now it looks like a mobile version. If I will click here, you see, guys, errors from the cursor, it's here, and it's not clickable. That just looks ugly. So yeah, you can go register, but you see, that's really confusing from user perspective. So that's the issue, yeah. And you guys already mentioned it's not mobile friendly. What else, like I saw also here, like for example, search results, any, like car. And you see it's not secure form in Safari, but okay. So it's already bad. If I will try to squeeze the search results, so here it's fine, but somewhere in other, what I searched, let me check. In leaderboard, I think. You see, guys, it's on mobile viewport, it's missing the columns, so it's not responsive. And you see it looks like cut off, so for some reason it's not. Especially on Safari, it's a little bit looks better than on Chrome, but in Chrome it's like super ugly. But what can I say? I'm satisfied really with your test results. So at least you found between 5 and 7 issues per 15 minutes, which is pretty good. Congratulations, guys. Yeah, site is definitely bad, but you will be given, if you will be given this task, it will be kind of the buggy website. So the purpose of this task, it's not to see how you fast. The purpose to see what kind of findings you will, like for example, you guys saw like some minor like CSS issue, but most of you told me that you found like site is crashed or something else, which is like main from functionality perspective, it's important. So remember, first, if you will be given this task, first list main functionalities issue, and then everything else like minor, like design or, but this one, guys, remember always to check if your site is responsive. So viewport, guys, do you remember that you have a website? What is my viewport size? So you can like here, like this. Just any, my viewport size. So So any, for example, this one. So you can always say under which viewport you see an issue. For example, on this one. So always check how your website handling responsiveness. You see here a button, for example, under mobile view Kevin button, it's like above the background, under background, so it's clickable. Yeah, it's clickable, but this one is really bad. So, and there is nothing really under menu, this login, but it's so confusing. So, and this looks like a back button, but it's not. So you can only click Supercar Showdown logo. So here. Yeah, and website somewhere like third party link. You see here when you see, for example, on carousel, if text is a little bit bigger than on previous slide, so there is no button at all. So you see a lot of issues, a lot. And that's the critical issue because that's the hero card, that's hero image on the carousel. That's it, no button. So you see. But guys, you did amazing job. So what you're supposed to do at home, you understand, yeah? You're supposed to go somewhere in Google and try, not only found those buggy websites, try to check in your applications that you're using in your life frequently, like bank application, I don't know, any online shop application, anything you want, and try to test and see, because there is also possibility that they will give you like QA environment website or even production website, or before the interview, you know the rule, yeah? When you go in for interview, you're supposed to bring a bug report, like definitely, 2 even better. That's the rule. You want to show the person that you really care. So you already spend time trying to find out if anything broken on the website. So that's the rule. That's why you have to practice a lot. Okay, guys, so next task. Next task is similar. So next one is, I will give you the different website and you will have the same 15 minutes and you have to create test cases. But I'm not talking about that you're supposed to definitely for sure using Gherkin style language. It could be different, just plain language, but the same 15 minutes. And test case is supposed to be pretty clear and understandable. So link is here. Open, please, one. That's the website. Okay, I hope you all in. Let me set it up the timer. Okay, guys, go. Yeah, and one more. Try to create test cases related to the main functionality. I understand that you've seen the website first time in your life. It doesn't matter. You already a tester with some experience. Try to find out the main functionality of the website and create test cases on the main functionality, okay? Mila, you create a debug report or test case. If it's a test case, it looks like a bug report. Test case supposed to looks like different. Okay. Yes, Mila, we're doing test cases. Artyom, you crashed the website. Okay, guys, what we know right now, cool, okay. Okay, so go to the previous site and yeah, I see it's application error right now. Cool. Okay, guys, go to the previous one and you still have time and create test cases for the previous one, for the supercar showdown. But you already, I see already of you create a lot of test cases. Go to the different website and work there. You still have 5 minutes, so no rush, guys. Okay, guys, your time is gone. Okay, please stop. So, and right now we will be checking your test cases, which I already see looks okay. Okay. Okay, Katerina, user is on the home page, user has login button, user clicks not yet customer button, then user is taken to the page to register a new user. Okay, so and title will be like something like verify registration flow, as I understand. Given user on the home page, when user chooses another language, Vadim, expected and actual result and view like this, we use for bug reports only. So if you're using Gherkin style, so you're supposed to do given user is on the home page. When user choose another language, then page is translated to another language. Because right now that's the combination of the test case is bug report and bug report, which is pretty confusing. So for future, if you write in test cases, so just expected acceptance criteria, that's what expect, definitely use just then, okay? Okay, when you try to change the language, then language changes for all website. Okay. Unauthorized user is able to register. Authorized user is able to log in with valid credentials. Okay, that's actually pretty short and simple. Given user on the home page, when user leaves email or password field is blank, then error message cannot log in is displayed. Okay. User is able to perform search. Yeah, guys, and count how many test cases did you write? I want to see like the progress. Given user on the home page. Okay. 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 Condition users on the page, steps to Ina, steps to reproduce supposed to be part only in the bug reports. We are not putting steps to reproduce in test case, okay? And the same with expected result. Okay, that's for search. Okay. Guys, who else? So Mikhail posted and Vadim that they wrote 3 test cases. 3, okay. Okay, guys. Yeah, was like an issue that you're supposed to switch a website. But please practice and try to do 5, okay? At least like 3 minutes for one test case. That's fine, but 5 minutes per one test case during the interview, it's a little bit a lot. So that was the purpose of the task. Today we'll just track our progress. So 5 test cases per 15 minutes, okay. If you can do 6, it's better. So practice, okay? At home you can practice, like any website, anything you like. Before interview, for sure, create some test cases, like 5 test cases, create some bug reports for the website. Just be prepared. So that's so to find a job, that's the job. You're supposed to do the job. It's hard to type, so practice. No, on interviews the same. No one will be trying to type in instead of you. You will be typing, yeah. And sometimes I'm telling you, they can give you a pen, piece of paper, and you will write instead of type. Maybe that's the even easier, but that's why I'm telling you guys, practice before interview. So right now you know what kind of work you can do for the certain period of time. So that was my today purpose of like work with you on this task. Okay, so homework, any website, find bug reports, any website, write test cases. So the same, set up timer for yourself, like 15 minutes, and practice, okay? That's the really good task. So, and I actually don't have any tasks for you today, but right now, your time, I'm open to any questions related to any topic about the course, about the job. So go, any questions, guys, any. I'm sure you have. I hope you have. Come on, guys. You know everything and have no questions? If it is, I'm so happy, but I hope you had the questions. Certificate? Do you need certificate? If you need, yes, you can ask Evgeny. He will do something. There wasn't a lot of information during the 3 months boot camp. It's really hard to remember everything. Definitely, it's hard to remember everything, but that's fine. You have an access. You can rewatch the videos. You can practice. So, guys, boot camp. So actually, what we expected from you guys. So what if I was you, what I would do, like, so after like 1.5 months of the boot camp, I would start at the like job searching, and none of you really did it. So who did it? They already in the market. So believe me, guys, those are champions from your class who right now got a job offer. They already like did it. They started like around like 1 month after boot camp. So that's why they already got the job. That it still takes some time. So when you start searching, so that's fine. Okay, for how long you will have an access to the Jira? I wouldn't say it for forever, but before our all projects still exist. Yeah, there is some limitation of the data. So, and we will be deleting some project, but 2-3 months for sure. But that's fine. You can save all videos. You will access to LMS. You will have, I think, for forever. There is no limitation for LMS, but there is limitation in Jira. So yeah, if you need something from Jira, practice right now, or save all information, or from the Confluence to a personal machine, okay? Did we do tests related to payment method in Dean's project? If we did, how we tested this functionality and how we test tokens. So if you did, guys, in reality, we didn't because we don't have a test card. Test card supposed to be the same as a real card. So it's supposed to be created. So, but yes, it's simply the same how you test in the, you can say, yes, we tested the payment using the test credit card. you just were given the number, the same real number, card, CVV code, and expiration date, and just tested normal payment functionality using credit card only. We didn't test using PayPal because PayPal payments not implemented, only credit cards payment for now. How we test tokens? You talking about tokens in their DINs or where, or different tokens? In DINs. So you're talking about API tokens, yeah, correct? Which tokens? Give me an example, please, because maybe I just want to understand you clearly. There is API tokens that we can test using the DINs. Because I'm a little bit confused. What tokens did you mean? Like cryptocurrency? No, you can say that like right now during, like if you say will ask you which like right now part of the project you're working on right now. So you can say that right now our project, like in the stage of the implementations on cryptocurrency, it will be something new to me, just gathering requirements, creating test cases, documentation. So pretty excited about this functionality, but no, we didn't. And I'm personally, I don't have an experience to how to test the cryptocurrency. I'm assuming that something similar to the like PayPal probably, but I'm not really believing all this cryptocurrency stuff personally. Me, that's just personal opinion. So that's why. But in Europe, it's still popular. So why not? So you can say that's just a feature in implementation stage. Okay. Did we test? Okay. What kind of books you can recommend about the testing? Personally, I read testirovania.com in Russian language, which was like kind of funny if you just started, but you already know probably because I didn't had your knowledge, guys, when I read this book. So it's kind of funny, but right now you know everything, I think. So, and I actually not recommend you guys to read the books about the test. And my personal recommendation, just practice. So based on knowledge you have right now, everything video, previous tickets, so just practice. It's not boring at all. So for example, I know everything in DINs, or I know everything in Milshare application. It's not true, guys. There is, believe me, always room to grow. You definitely skip at something. So test again with a fresh eyes and just practice, create test cases, create bug reports, even talk to yourself about software development lifecycle. So, and I'm not reading books a lot. I would love to, but not unfortunately, I supposed to read about some particular technology which I need right now, like to implement in my testing. So and that's fine. My best friend and my best book, it's the Google right now. But if you wanna like some different experience, this testirovania.com, like pretty funny book. What is the statistic? We had like 100 people enrolled. How many found the job on that amount? Around 10 people. That I know. I'm not counting whole statistics. Not all people, guys, and not every one of you, unfortunately, sharing that they already got a job. Like, I don't know which reason for this one, but some information we like finding from other sources other than you. But statistic around 10 students right now. What would you answer regarding this qualification? I'm getting ready for interview. Experience with development and consumption, web service preferred. This one, first one, like sounds too smart. But that's fine. Experience with XML and JSON. Can I ask you, because unfortunately I don't know what does it mean, XSLT? I don't know what is it, so sorry. I can Google it, but XSLT. Extendable style sheet language. Aha. Okay. It's in PDF. So personally me, I never saw this language in a testing practice, never used. So if you know what is it and how to use, and maybe there is somewhere a position with this kind of requirement, why not? But just sorry, personally me, I never used it before, so I just don't know. C#. HTTP, that's the protocol. C#, that's the language. SQL, that's the language. So HTTP protocol cannot stay in one line with the languages. It's different. And you just remove HTTP from resume. It's just don't understand the purpose to put HTTP in the resume. So just remove it and just leave the languages.
Sorry, Marina, it is not my resume. I'm getting ready for the interview, on-site interview, and so I'm pretty. Sorry, that's some of job requirements. They're not on the top of the list, but that's like nice to have. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that they will ask about it. So like, I'm just not sure what to answer, mm-hmm. you know.
But this one, XSLT, I never use, and I cannot even advise the tool. Just Google. I see there is a, you see this introduction, I immediately see the first link in the Google, that's the W3 school. So this one you can copy. Sorry, for some reason it doesn't want to copy. And read there probably, because I like the W3 school resources. So maybe that will be useful for you. But C#, so if you're not genius and not ready to answer about C# immediately, you can Google some information, definitely, but C#, that's the complicated language. So you can Google some information, you can give them an overview that you have this experience, you never had this experience, you know about the language and you're willing to learn, but your experience right now, you know the SQL, you like know some JavaScript, I mean knowledge is related to the like your testing needs, but you know, if I, for example, I have no experience with the C#, I wouldn't lie, because it's pretty easy to catch you, especially when it will be developer, for example, on interview who is really proficient in C#. So if you can't, so just say it true, that's fine. If it's nice to have experience with the software design patterns, that's fine. That's just, that's mean you just have to overall this, you're supposed to know the overall process, how the software, this design process is happening, which you know. So JSON, you know, that's the language and you practice with the JSON on API. So you're supposed to see what is it. XML, the same. For example, how I'm using XML. XML, that's the file, for example, format of the file, languages, which, and using the XML, I am working with the Charles tool and all headers, which allow me to rewrite my, for example, location of my website or my personal location to other country. I'm using the headers which written on XML language. So there is, it's not actually a really big deal. The same like simply as a JSON. So it's human readable language. So it's not supposed to be really hard. So, but with the C#, just don't lie. Are you sure they're looking for manual QA? you know, like everyone right now in each and every position, I see the automation, but when it's a big deal, like coming to the reality, they just or planning to have an automation or just dreaming. They put C# because probably they using C# in their development, but for testing, if other description of position just close to manual, so just don't worry about C#, worry about your first impression to these people. So that's most important skills, like how you will be able to communicate and just present yourself. Yeah, the last bullet about is SDLC for sure, about like software design on SDLC stage. Okay, that's it. Like, yeah. Any other questions, guys? Maybe some of already of you like went for interview or phone calls and something is not clear from their recruiter side or hiring manager side. Or just tell me if someone is calling you, how many resume you already like sent, how like where you posted your profile link in Glassdoor, how many positions you found by yourself, like it's a lot or it's like 2-3 positions on the market.
Marina, I have a question.
Sure.
So I'm getting a lot of phone calls from recruiters, like a lot. And everyone is asking me about my status here and if I have a citizenship or green card. So I have none of those, and that's why it's hard for me to get to on-site interview, you know, because they don't want to hear about the work authorization.
What you answering? Like you eligible to work?
I'm eligible to work and I have an employment authorization document. I don't need a sponsorship, not now, not down the road. So should I, maybe, that's what I was thinking about. Maybe they're not really aware about what.
Definitely say yeah, yes, say yes, yes.
So yeah, maybe I'm thinking like
if it's like it's just recruiters, not like HR from the company, it's just a recruiters.
Right.
Yes. So yes, say yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Just say yes and that's it. Like from real company, hiring manager, when you will say I am eligible to work for any employer in this country, that's it. They will be pretty satisfied with this one. Yeah, I know there is like employment authorization, it's confusing for some of them, so just say yes. What can I tell you is that exactly HR will never see your papers. So, and company will see your paper first time and once on your first day of the job. Like, yes, you will put all this data in your background check form, but this background check will be done by a different third-party company. So in this company, you're supposed to say like your all data, social security, maybe this number on work authorization card. But in reality, in your company, your hiring manager or teammates or something, they even will not be aware about your exactly the status. So don't worry about this one. If it's just a random recruiter, for example, from any agency, say, yes, I have everything, and that's it. And that's actually not their business. And what can I say exactly? It's not legal to reject you based on your status. If you have work authorization, which eligible document in United States, most of companies, I would say big companies, they had zero problem with work authorization employment. You just have to renew it on time and that's it. So just when you have to renew it, please make sure you do it like 8 months before or 6 months before, because I heard there are some delays with this paper from other students. So just do it on time and that's it, and you will have zero problems. But it's definitely not the recruiter's business about your status, because yes, when you, for example, will be applying to NASA or some government company, there is a strict rules that it's supposed to be citizen or even not green card holder, I would say that they require the citizenship, but everything else, like okay with work authorization. So do not pay attention to this one. Anything else? Guys, you're so silent. Don't be so silent. You're supposed to be excited. You're like just couple steps from your dream job. If you really believe in it, you will have it for sure. Maybe like you have some blockers, you need like advices, maybe you need some help. Okay. Okay, what is your blocker? What kind of help do you need? You have a blocker, okay. What kind of blocker? Aha. Oh, sorry, I can't help with this one, unfortunately. I would like to. Looking for this one. Oh, that's kind of hard, I think, but it still exists. There is a lot of like program, but you're supposed to be really, I don't know, not, you have to really impress the future employer to help you with the sponsorship. Yeah, I understand you would love to go to the market, but listen, if you really want, so you will find a way to do it. So I think there is still some options. How does it work with the mentoring? So first you have to contact our Nastya. She's on this Confluence, and before scheduling the sessions, then you're supposed to follow the instruction from the Confluence, and you limit it on, I think, three or four sessions. You can schedule this mentorship session with any mentors you like. Personally, me, I like them all. I know them all. They brilliant, nice guys, work in QAs. So anyone, just person you more like, don't like see don't pay attention to the company name, just look on the list and see who do you like maybe visually more. So they all experience, like have experience how to find a job, like, and everything else. So yeah, like follow instruction in Confluence first. Keep in touch with Nastya and she will give you all instructions, but there is a links you can meeting bird, I think, application, and you can schedule your mentorship session there. Yes, and I'm highly recommending this before, like, once we have this option, that's the new option right now. We have more mentors and more mentors coming, more, like, at least we'll expand it. So definitely make sure you try this opportunity. No problem. Everything for you guys. We just so want you to go to the market and find your dream jobs. That guys like owners of TestPro, they're doing everything for you, everything they can. Like, so Mikhail, did you took any mentorship sessions during the boot camp? And if yes, so not yet, so go. And I mean, and actually my question is, why not? What are you waiting for? You're supposed to be already check it your resume. He is a mentor. Okay, he's a mentor now. Okay, but that's fine. You still go with a mentorship. Any person can in our boot camp. Go. Team lead also can have this opportunity. Even team leads sometimes need personal good advice from other cool member. Like, that's pretty fine. Why not? If I don't know something, who do I ask? Like my teammate, person who knows better than me. If someone, I don't know, guys, if I will have your opportunity, I would love to take the mentorship session, just maybe for good advice about like some practical QA tasks. So why not? Team lead, he's also the human. I hope. So yeah, you can guys still have mentorship session after the bootcamp. So you already, each of you know how many sessions you take. So your limit is 4. If you take, for example, 3, you can take 1 more. But if you already took 4, so I'm sorry, that's why you have a Nastya. You have to contact the Nastya, she will instruct you. She's the person who is in charge of all this mentorship stuff. But that's really cool because mentor, he will check your resume, he will give you advice because guys, what can I tell you? I checked some resume and I still like your resume and there is some issues. So, and you know it. So it's always better to have to check it again. So yeah, my advice, please make sure you're not mixing technology and tools. For example, if it's platforms, that's the Windows, like macOS, Android, and iOS. That's the platforms. Like, for example, Jira, that's the not testing tool. For example, Jira, that's the just bug tracker. So testing tool, that's Chrome development tools. API, Postman, that's for API testing tools. So, and just tools which exactly help you test. So Jira, that's the bug tracking. Zephyr, that's the test management tool. So don't mix your tools, okay? That's what I saw. What else? So please, based on what I see in your resume, please avoid repetitive information. For example, if you put already in a summary, like you proficient in regression, functional, and blah, blah, blah testing, and guru in test cases and bug reports. So do not add the same information again in your professional experience because it looks like you think the person who is reading your resume, he is not really understanding that that's from the first time. So make summary like optional, just like in simple words, just say you the best of the best, like in QA world. And in experience, please be more detailed. So on your project, you, for example, executed regression test cases. So using this tool, or for example, tested usability based on the product needs. So you have an examples, you have some bullets, yeah? So just don't use a lot of repetitive information and don't just don't mess in your testing tools and your technical skills. Yeah, and education. For example, you have a diploma from different country. And that's, for example, engineer in something else, in some field. And you put in your education this whole title from your diploma. I also had the same situation. I have 3 diploma from my country, and that's the huge. So just put BA in engineering, BA in economics, or MA in something. So do it short, because people in United States, they have no idea, maybe sometimes even about your country or about your university, or what does it, for example, engineer in economy means. So for them, it's like totally confusing. So just be short and simple, and don't give them like an opportunity to ask you not comfortable questions. So that's the purpose. Okay, guys, do you have any questions, or we can drop off today? Yeah, related to the Tuesday and Thursday. So guys, I don't know why, but you so shy to do mock interview on public. That's the bad idea. So I already mentioned like so many times. So there is a high possibility that you will have an interview with a couple people between 3 and 5, one at a time. So you will be answering questions to a lot of people, not for one person face to face. So Chen, she's a native speaker. She is QA lead in a big company. She will ask you the right question. Even for your like listening, it's so useful. So guys, that's why I'm asking you, before Monday, okay, before Tuesday, send your resume to me. I will check and maybe I will give some correction and I will forward it to Chen. And Chen will interview you during the class. That's the really cool opportunity to practice. Your previous course, B3, they were fighting for this opportunity. And I don't understand why you guys not interested in this one. So for me and for Tanya, it's so confusing to us. Like, I don't know why. They just, people from B3 basic QH, they just like were sending to us like 1,000 message. I didn't have this opportunity. Please do extra session. So, and we did it. So that's big deal, guys. Think about it. If you don't want, you don't want. We're not pushing you, but up to you. What if my diploma is in different field? Okay, and so what? That's fine. Do you know that Danny's diploma is design of interior, first diploma, and he's brilliant automation engineer right now, and he didn't have any other diploma, so that's fine. Just put the same BA, like language of arts or somewhere, that's fine. Just add that you had after your major diploma, you finish some like bootcamp courses related to QA, and that will be fine. So yeah, if your diploma nothing to, that's fine. Should you, yeah, like, yes, you should, because for some company diploma, that's a requirement. So personally, me, I have a colleague, not in my current company, but he's a QA, and he has unfinished education. So still, he is a really successful automation engineer, so it's not stops him from to be a really successful person. But yes, put like BA and like just make this field, try to translate it from your diploma more closer to QA field. But yes, it's nice to have a diploma, and here in United States, it really counts. So and I know my colleagues, they also not like BA in science or engineering. They had like finance diplomas or anything else. They still all successful QA people. So it's not supposed to be a blocker. Framework for React. Deans. You mean the React framework for JavaScript? For Milshare, actually, I don't know, but we can ask for Deans. Let me check. You know, Mila, I'm not sure if it's React only, but yes, you can say React, but it's not only React, they're using also like something else. It's really actually hard to say without exactly technical requirements. So, but I'm not sure if it's React only based on the website. If I have experience, if degree is not finished from the different country, what I should, so my advice to still put your education, but if they will ask you for a diploma, say true, it's not finished and you're going to finish. So put the lowest level from your diploma in your country. Are you familiar with any other framework like in reality? Yes, you're familiar. You had your framework from the Dean's project for automation. Yes, I will check for you questions related to the Dean's, how they developed. But yes, you can always tell your story about the automation framework. 5 years of education equals to MA or BA only. That depends on your, I cannot count for you. That's the special organization who counts for you. It's based on your subjects in your diploma. But I have MA, so, and my MA is 6 years from other country. So my master is a 6 years master, so it's counted here the same as a master's degree. So I'm not sure about the 5 years old, but that's the different diploma based on previous one. So my education is a little bit complicated. But I think my master's counted here because I definitely studied like 6 years in different country. You prefer not even to mention automation, but if they ask you, do you know any other framework? Yes, you can say like our developers also using this one. And that's it. It's still, you have like some overview. But I'm not sure if like for manual QA, they will be asking you about the React. I don't know even any testers who should be really, they asking. Position is manual QA. And they asking you about how you will be testing using the React. You know, I had a similar situation in my life, so related to React actually. So I was interviewed by one company, and that was first level position of automation, and we agreed about like one framework. So I showed them what I can do, built whole presentations. They were really happy about this one. We were almost on the stage of the offer, and then they told me, you know, Marina, you like perfect and blah, blah, blah. But we make a decision to hire someone who knows how to automate on JavaScript. Like my eyes was big like this because I never mentioned that I know it. So like when you asking me those questions, like it already sounds to me like a little bit people not really know what they want from you. So again, my advice is the same. If you will be not able to fluently speak about your experience with the React, and I'm sure you're not, because we never practiced this one, so you can just watch some video quickly or Google it. So just say, yes, I know the developers use it, but it's not affecting my, not affecting my testing at all. So I'm just using Chrome DevTools. Like if I need some, I would just extension from React, like I would ask my developer and he will give me an advice. That's what I am advising you to say, because when it's so many questions related to the framework for the manual tester, it already sounds to me a little bit confusing from your future perspective in this company. If they need someone who is know what does it React means and how work with the React, it's already not you, because probably next steps they're going to give you maybe some technical task.
No, just the thing here that in San Diego there is a lot of medical companies. Those are really care only on execution, like, you know, manual testing and SQL queries. But interesting companies like startup companies, at least here, a lot of them are working on React framework. That's why they just, they're asking questions because I'm pretty confident, and they're asking like, maybe you can do automation. I was like, hey guys, I just seen, how people doing that. I mean, I just know how the interface of Selenium looks like, but like I'm not there yet. I would love to learn down the road, but not at the moment. And they're like asking me questions. How you
say
do this?
I would love to learn. Say I just started.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
What do you love to learn? I'm not interested. I'm already want to hear that you already one step in.
Yeah, good point.
There is also like Redux, close to React. So personally, we're using Redux. So I'm using Redux right now. So, but there is also not a lot of information for the tester. So it's common with the practice. But yeah, stay like closely that you're willing to learn. You already started. So you only see how like developers work. And if you have any question or your testing task requires some testing related to the React, you will go to developer using the Jira ticket and ask for the steps how to reproduce, not how to reproduce, how to test. That's actually what I'm really doing when I have to test something like technical, which is already not on my level right now. Maybe I never saw this tool, I never used it before, because for when you testing like a big application, it happens, and that's normal. No one knows everything. It's impossible. Developers, they Googling each and every time. So, and when they know how to help you, believe, and they're really interested that you will be testing their implementation, they really want you to know how to test. So they will help you. So that's the main point. If they asking you how to test using React, you're supposed to say, I don't know. Not I don't know.
They're just asking, I believe they're just interested in our project, because I'm like very excited when I'm explaining the project I'm working currently on. Mm-hmm. And they're just asking questions like, how does it work? What are you using? This and that. Because other projects other companies' projects, they actually look like Deans, so they really genuinely just interested.
Mm-hmm. Okay, say Redux. This one.
What's
It's a little bit easy from React, I think. Okay. You can watch some video. So yeah, Redux. So it's a little bit easier from my understanding than React. But yeah, React is also like part of the Deans, but not all developers supposed to work. They can work independently. So there is like multiple. So, but yeah. Redux framework, it's also like let me give you the link. Where is this one? Yeah, it's extension. It's like kind of extension. So it's also like, I think it's this one, I hope. Also, like you can go to check about this extension. That's extension. It's not exactly the framework, but yeah. So you can go and see what's about the Redux. Looks the same, not really different from the Chrome Developers Tools console. It just allows you to do some extras. So this one, Redux, is, once you install it, you will see this extension under your console. So that's for example like this. Let me show you any website. So you see, that's Redux here. That's how it looks like. Once you install, you will see, and you will be able to do some testing using Redux. But you're supposed to know how to do it. So I cannot explain you like for 5 minutes. That's the like separate class, and it's more in automation. If you live in Seattle and work in an out company, I need to tell them I'm working in office or online. You can just say you just moved to Seattle, and before you work at the office, or you will say you work remotely. Okay, Okay, guys, if there is no questions, so we can drop off. So yeah, please resume. Okay, guys, please practice. There is only one way to get a job, just practice. No other way, unfortunately. Okay, so I gave you the presentation. We will post the video from this class in video lessons later. Yeah, guys, questions and ask me here as always. Okay, guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.